Everyone, this is Dr. Mihir Shah once again with another video. In this video, we're going to discuss the most important theory question that you need to study under the subject research methodology, also known as RM. Again, a very important video for all the TYBBI Sem V student. So in this video, we are going to divide the theory question into two parts. First, the most important long answers from each module, and secondly, all the short notes from the entire syllabus. So let us see what are the most important topics that you need to cover up from each module. First is the module 1. Remember, module 1 and module 2 are very lengthy, okay, and major part of the paper comes from module 1 and module 2. So that is very important that you need to remember. So under module 1, these are the first set of important questions. First part is based on all hypothesis. So we have what is hypothesis, explain the various sources of hypothesis used by researcher. Second, discuss the types of hypothesis in detail. Next, we have what is the characteristic and explain the significance of hypothesis. Okay. Then the next set of questions is based on sampling. So distinguish between probability and non-probability based sampling. Describe with an example different methods of sampling. Okay. Explain or elaborate on the concept of sampling and its significance. So first part is all hypothesis related question. Now this is all sampling related question. Okay, you all can note it down once, then we'll go ahead. Okay, next is again still continuation with sampling. So we have what is non-probability sampling and different method of non-probability sampling. Then we have what is sample size and what are the factors that you need to consider while deciding the sample size. Okay, so these are all questions which are important from the sampling point. Now from the research point, different types of research, objectives and uses of research, importance of research, what are the various qualities of good research, and what are the objectives of research with suitable example. These all questions are from the research part of view. Okay, that's basically from the very start of the chapter. Okay, these are the last set of questions. Explain the term research and elaborate the features. Then we have all the process and design. So explain the various steps involved in research process. Explain the concept of applied research and analyze is different from and analyze how it is different from basic research. So basically a distinguish between can come there. What is research design and what are the various types of research design. Then we have what are the factors affecting research design, the process of research design, and lastly what are the steps involved in preparing a research design. Remember, first module is very lengthy, so it started off with like hypothesis, then we had topic related to sampling, then we had related to research, then we had related to research design and the process. Okay, so major chunk, very important topics are there in this particular module. Next, module 2. Again, module 2 is also equally lengthy. So what are the different types of personal interviews used by a researcher, and or what is personal interview, and explain the merits and demerits of personal interviews. That is a very important topic. So the first two questions are based on personal interviews. Next we have what is a survey and what are the various types of surveys conducted to collect the data. Next, what is secondary data and state the or explain the sources of secondary data. Next, what is primary data and state the features, merits and demerits of primary data. Similarly, we have explained in detail the significance of secondary data. Again, very important topics. Next, distinguish between primary and secondary data. Then we have discussed the discriminant analysis as advanced statistical technique used in research. Okay, this question can also be there in module 3. Okay, explain briefly the experimentation under field setting and laboratory setting. Discuss the types of interview method used by researchers. What are the advantages and disadvantages of personal interview method. Then we have questionnaire related topics. So what is questionnaire and what are explain the importance of a questionnaire in data collection. What are the common types of scales of measurement used in research, or explain the different types of scaling technique used in research. Very important answer. What are the steps involved in questionnaire designing? What is mail survey and explain the merit demerits? What are the features or essential of a good questionnaire? And what is a questionnaire, and discuss the different types of questions in a questionnaire. Again, very important topics. You can go through it once. Okay, next is module number 3. Now remember, in RM paper, research methodology paper, question number 2 is from module 1, question number 3 is from module 2, question number 4 is module 3 and 4 together, and question number 5 will be from the last module. So module 3 and module 4 usually come together. So let us see what are the questions in module 3. What is data processing and explain its features? Again, what is data processing of data and describe the essential of processing of data. That's like the importance. Explain editing as the first step in data processing. Or what is editing of data with its types. What is coding and explain the importance or essential of good coding. Discuss the importance of tabulation of data in data processing. Very important topics. Okay, these all are. Next, what is tabulation and various types of tabulation? Explain the concept of analysis of data and the types of analysis of data. Or explain the characteristic of data analysis. Next here, what do you mean by interpretation of data and state its importance to the researchers? Next here, what is descriptive analysis and how it is useful? And thirdly, lastly, enumerate the measures of descriptive analysis. So as compared to the first and second module, module 3 is a little smaller, okay, because module 3 and module 4 together they come for the exams, okay, so few, but first and second module are very lengthy, okay, even if you go to the textbook, they are like around 80 pages a chapter, okay, so those are the most important answers that you have to cover up. Next, under module 4, what are the concept of multi-dimensional scaling and its purpose? Describe scatter diagram and how it is useful in studying correlation, or you can even have what is scatter diagram and draw different types of scatter diagrams. Define cluster analysis and state the areas of application of cluster analysis. Explain the concept of factor analysis and discuss the advantages and disadvantages. Next here, state and explain the main characteristic of correlation analysis. And lastly, from module 4, what is factor analysis and explain the application of factor analysis. Very important topics, okay, these are from module 4. You all can go through it once. Next, under module 5, what are the just important information I have to give is that, see, in module number 5 only these are the questions that you need to cover up for long answers. If you do not cover up the long answers in module 5, you have to attempt the short note. Now short note is very vast, okay, in RM, at least in RM it's very vast. So rather than attempting the short notes, I would prefer only for RM to go for the long answers under module 5 that will come under question number 5. Okay, so what are the questions? Explain the characteristic of research report. What is research report and highlight and explain the significance of research report. Next is, why is review of literature it plays an important role in research. What does research report and explain briefly the layout of research report, or what are the steps in writing research report. We can even have explain the 4 components of research report, or discuss the content of a research report. What are the various types of research report, and lastly discuss footnote and bibliography used in research. Okay, so these are all the long answers that you need to cover up under each module. Now let us see what are the list of short notes that has to be covered. Now majority of the short notes will already be covered in your long answers. Okay, so only here and there few new short notes will be there. So first one is empirical. Write a short note on empirical research, discriminant analysis, editing and coding, telephonic survey, technical report, characteristic of research, factor analysis, ANOVA, popular report, social media and media listening. Next we have probability sampling, applied research, cluster analysis, types of observation, merits of personal interview, sources of hypothesis, need for editing, limitation of primary data, purpose of writing a research report, non-probability method of sampling, and lastly importance of research, types of scaling technique, essentials of data processing, multidimensional scaling, sources of hypothesis, bibliography and footnote, importance of secondary data, pure and applied research, essential of good research report, and oral and written research report. So if you can see, short notes are a little difficult in RM. So rather than attempting the short note, I would prefer attempting question number 5, long answer, which comes from module number 5, which is a very simple topic as compared to the the density or the differentiations in the short notes, because short notes are very wide from entire syllabus. So rather than that, I would have attempted the long answer. Again, that's just a choice which I'm telling you all. Okay, chalo. I hope everyone have noted down all the various questions. Chalo, with that, we will be ending this video here. Thank you.